I'd say it's about time we do a third episode of this weird series that I like to call my AU lore ramblings. So here we go. Number 1. All characters that arrived on Sodor post 1948 wore either British Railways black or green, and they wore these liveries until being repainted when the railway was preserved in 1968. And when they were repainted, they were either given a new unique livery or the livery of the previous railway but with Northwestern lettering instead. So for example, when Arthur was repainted, he was given LMS maroon, but instead of LMS lettering, he would get NWR lettering, and so on and so forth. Number 2. The Great Western Railway's main livery was a mint shaded green rather than the swamp marsh shaded green in real life. Duck, Oliver, and all the other Great Westerners on Sodor would sport this livery once again after being repainted in the 60s. Number 3. When Sodor was being eyed by the LMS for a buyout in the early 20s, the LNER, who was very much not wanting that to happen, sold the NWR 2 of their A1 class locomotives, one of which being Gordon, who was stationed at Knapford, and the other A1 was stationed at Sodor's then terminus, Vigorstown. This A1 was rather interesting as it was never really known which exact engine it was when it arrived, as there was no number visible or any of the records. So the Northwestern Railway simply numbered this engine as 27. Number 4. In 1934, locomotive number 27 was converted to burn oil instead of coal, and was fitted with an old American oil tender that was purchased from overseas. And was also given a larger buffer beam up front. This experiment did turn out relatively positive results, but they were rather minimal. But regardless, the Northwestern Railway wanted to save on coal costs at the time, so number 27 remained as an oil burner. Number 27 is preserved and still lives on Sodor present day. Where on Sodor, I will dive into in a separate video. Number 5. After Henry's infamous flying kipper crash in 1935, Sir Topham Hatt I knew that a rebuild was necessary to return Henry to service better than before. And so, who would he call upon other than his son, who lived in the United States at the time, for him to draw up new designs for Henry's rebuild based on similar engines he had designed for the Big City Railroad. Once the drawings were delivered to Sodor, Henry's overhaul commenced, and he returned to service as one of the strongest engines on the mainline in 1936. Number 6. After the Knapford and Olmsted Railway merged with the Arlesdale Tramway in 1913, a new express route was created along the coastline of Sodor. And now the newly established Knapford, Arlesdale, and Olmsted Railway, better known as the KA&UR, purchased a D16 440 to run this new express service, this engine being Molly, who was repainted into a bright yellow livery, as the new owners of this engine wanted to show off that they had a dead modern express engine on their fleet. They wanted to show off to everyone around them. Number 7. Emily was the last of the Stirling single class to be built in 1895 and was purchased by the Sodor and Mainland in 1905 to run their main line, which ran out to Kildan at the time. In 1948, she was repainted into British Railways blue and placed on the Peel Gardner branch line. See you guys in the next one.